Awesome. Okay, so thank you guys for coming. Just FYI, this semester we decided to do mandatory advising. One, just to be more efficient in helping students. Two, we're shorthanded. So we are going to tell you everything that we know about registration right now, about classes, because the schedule isn't completely set, and so y'all need to be aware of what is and what isn't. And then how we're going to do prereq overrides. We're going to show you how to use the registration worksheet. It's supposed to simplify y'all's lives a little bit, and just go over everything that we would normally go over as far as advising goes. Hello, there's a wall there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Last semester, they rolled out new Howdy and a registration system. So some of y'all registered in that new system. The old system is going away. So last semester, just FYI, let's see. So if you're a student and if you go to prepare for registration, this screen should tell you what holds you have, and then any prereq overrides, which would be helpful to you guys. And then also if you have registration issues, who to contact, okay? So what's important here is the prereq overrides, because some of you guys will need prereq overrides, and then any holds that you might have, okay? So please check in with Courtney. Okay, so let's go back to the registration system. The registration worksheet. This is going to be a tool that you can make out your schedule and look at your classes, plan them out, and then when it comes to registration time, you should be able to hit a button, and if those sections are available, it should be able to register you for them. That's what it's supposed to do, okay? So we'll see what happens when everybody in the university is using it and if there are any glitches, okay? So it will also bring in the classes from your degree planner. So if you know that your degree planner is correct, you can just go ahead and move those over and then hit that button. But this is how it works, okay? Spring 2020 is what we're registering for. We're going to create a worksheet, and I am going to look for arrow classes, and I'm going to pretend I am a first semester junior. Okay, so eventually what we are thinking is if we can get this all set up and we can get every student, once registration worksheets become available, is to have you guys create a registration worksheet, because eventually I want to be able to pull data and see what sections I'm going to need more seats in. So we can try and accommodate that and maybe eliminate a force list. So eventually this is going to become a requirement for students to create if we can work that out. So, but this is how it works. So you type in your class, you view sections. Okay, currently this has 2 sections, but this one doesn't have any seats, so we don't know if we're going to open that section. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my registration worksheet, and it's going to say pending, and then I'm going to go and look for 304, view sections, 1 section, so I'm going to add that. Look for 310. Few sections, only 1. This one was easy peasy. Okay. Well, I'm not going to mess with 302/307, one, because 302 is not in the system right now. So that will be updated in Howdy shortly, and I will let you know when classes are added to the system. And then I'm just going to save my registration worksheet. And that's what I have planned, okay? It makes out the schedule for you. It lets you know what's planned, all right? And then hopefully when it comes to registration time, y'all can just hit the button and it'll register you, okay? If there are seats available, all right? That's new and different, I guess. Anybody have any questions? Pretty self-explanatory? Okay. All right. I didn't play with that. See what that does. Oh, just make sure that you do your acknowledgements. So that's what that is. Okay. So let's get back to the presentation. We just talked about registration worksheets and preparing for registration. Okay, so your registration time should now be in Howdy. The Office of the Register determines your registration time, okay? And it's based on hours that you have graded, not on what's going on, okay? There is a registration schedule. Summer course registration. Right now, we don't know what classes are going to be offered in the summer. So once we know that, we will let you know. I can't even tell you what we're thinking about in the summer, okay? I just asked this morning, and we're waiting on the college to give us information. So once we have that, we'll email you. So you can plan, if you need to change your spring schedule, you can plan accordingly, okay? Restrictions. Make sure when you're registering that you look at the restrictions. Make sure you're not, bless you, registering for an honors section if you are not honors. Make sure that, you know, if you're trying English 210, you're not trying to register for the chemical engineering section because they have those reserved. So, all right, make sure that you are the proper level. For engineering 482, you have to be a junior. So if you're a sophomore trying to register for engineering 482, it shouldn't let you, okay? So make sure you look at your restrictions. And the restrictions also include prereqs, so make sure you're meeting the prereqs. Holds. Make sure that you've taken care of any holds before registration. You got 48 hours to register. So if you are trying to clear a hold, just know it's chaotic. So you need to, bless you, prepare for that before you register and not the night before, because advisors all over campus are trying to triage and figure out what's important. So it's crazy busy. We may not be able to get to your email by the time you register. Okay. Prereqs. As I said before, please do not register for a class that you are not meeting the prereqs for. If you have a math prereq, you need to register for that class first. Otherwise, it will not let you register for 212, 214, 222 if you don't have that math on your schedule, okay? And make sure that you do the lab safety acknowledgement, especially if you're taking Aero 402 and 307. Okay, any questions about any of that? Okay, degree planner holds. So we asked you guys to submit your degree planners by September 2nd. If you submitted that by September 2nd, we will have your degree planner reviewed and cleared by the time you register, okay? We are still reviewing those, all right? So please be patient. Mandatory meeting holds. Okay, y'all are attending the mandatory meeting. So hopefully in a couple of days, what we'll do is we'll send all of your names and the hold should be removed, okay? But give us a couple of days because we're sending it to somebody else to help us do this. If you have any other holds, please make sure that you take care of those, all right? Whether it be student business hold or anything that can affect registration, all right? And it should tell you in that prepare for registration checklist what holds you have. Okay, prereq overrides. Because of the issues that we had with the removal of certain classes in the catalog, if you're taking any of these classes, and I've added some to the list, if you took if you took Chemistry 102 and 112 and you're taking Aero 212, you'll need a prereq override. If you took a Math 253 outside of A&M or taking that this semester for math, you'll need a prereq override. If you're taking Physics 208 outside of A&M, you'll need a prereq override for Easton 215. So if you are taking any of these classes, you're going to need a prereq override. Later on today or tomorrow, I will send you an email with a link, all right? You need to respond to that email or do the Qualtrics and let us know what prereq overrides you need. There will be a deadline, okay? We want this to go smooth and efficient. So if we can get everything taken care of before you pre-register, it'll be a lot less stressful for you and for us, okay? So just be aware, you will need prereq overrides in the system to register for those classes. Electives that we'll be offering in the spring. There are some electives on the schedule right now that will not be offered, okay? So as far as technical electives go, Aero 420 will be offered, Aero 411, which has not been offered in the time that I have been here. I'm not even sure I know what that is. And then we're going to offer 489 with Dr. Limbach, a 489 with Dr. Chismus, and a 489 with Dr. Trapina. I am working on getting that information to you guys and sending a flyer about all of those 489s. Okay, I'm waiting on one professor to get back to us. So design electives, right now we only have 451 on the schedule. Okay, I don't know what the other design elective is, but we're working on it. So as soon as I know, I will let you guys know. Okay, one thing that you need to know about design and tech electives is you are required to take one design elective, okay, and 2 tech electives. If you take 2 design electives, one of those design electives becomes a tech elective. But you can't take 3 tech electives and expect one to become a design elective, okay? It only goes one way. It's not a two-way street on that. Any questions about that? Okay. All right. So if you're catalog 2017, it's important that you know what your catalog is, and that's in your Howdy portal. And have not taken Aero 222, you will register for Aero 289. If you are catalog 2017 and have not taken Aero 302, you will register for 489. It's not currently listed in Howdy, but will be. Hopefully by the time you register. May not be by the time you register, so you'll just register for that in open registration. Okay? If you're catalog 2018 or 2019, you will register for Aero 222. That replaces Aero 220. And then saying if you're 2018, you will register for Aero 307. It replaces Aero 302. Any questions about that? Okay. All right. One thing that y'all need to be clear on. Aero 430 only fulfills a tech elective credit if you have taken Math 401 to count as your advanced math credit. Okay? If you do not take Math 401 and only take Aero 430, then Aero 430 will fulfill your advanced math credit. Math 401 is only taught in the spring, traditionally. They could break with tradition at any point in time, but traditionally speaking, it's only taught in the spring. Aero 430 does not count in the math minor, okay? So there seems to be some confusion with students thinking that it does. It only counts as your advanced math credit, completely different as a math minor. Yes?
What happens when you have a math minor, they cancel Math 401 in the spring semester, and you need your math credit to graduate for like a minor?
You would take another math class.
Do they have other ones that are like equal to Math 401 for the degree?
They do, but it's only taught in the fall. So you would just take another math class, upper level math, 300 level math, 400 level math to count in the math minor.
Okay, so it wouldn't, you can take other classes that would count.
Yeah, yeah. You're not just restricted to Math 401 for the math minor. We just recommend that because that's what counts on the Aero degree plan. Okay, 49, yes?
Going off that question, do the other upper level math courses also count towards the Aero degree plan?
No.
Okay, so if 401 is not offered this spring, we're up a creek because we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Did they take it off the schedule?
I don't know, I'm just.
I was like, when I.
There's a what it.
Yeah, because I need to take that for math minor and to complete the Aero thing.
Yeah, yeah. Traditionally, it's taught in the spring. Okay, so let's talk about research. All right. So if you're doing 491 and 485, for it to count as a tech elective, you have to be an honors student. Okay. That's the only way that you can get tech elective credit for research or a directed studies. And it has to be registered for an honor section. You have to be a junior by hours. And then just know that if you're going to take a 491, we do not have the ability to register students or do anything for students until open registration. Let me clarify what pre-registration is versus open registration. Pre-registration is that 48-hour window that you guys get to register. So it'll be from November 7th to the 24th, I believe. And then open registration, that means it's a free-for-all. Everybody can open and change their schedule beginning November 25th. Advisors cannot do anything in the registration system until November 25th. So we cannot register students for 491s until November 25th, all right? Now, there's a lot going on. We will probably register students for 491s beginning in January or December after all of the hoopla has died down and we're doing end of semester processing type stuff, okay? So, if you are not an honors student, you are allowed to do research. It doesn't count towards your degree. However, it does show up on the transcript. You guys have the option of registering for 0 credit hours for research. That shows up on your transcript. You're not paying the tuition for it, but you still get credit, okay? Or you can take it for 1 to 4 hours, all right? Again, only honor students receive technical elective credit for 491s, and those honor students have to take at least 3 hours of research, okay? And you can split up the research. You can do 2 hours in one semester, 1 hour in another semester. It doesn't have to be all 3 in a semester. So, does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Engineering 482 and Philosophy 482. They are the same class. They're just cross-listed. So you register for one or the other, okay? They both count the same on your degree plan. Both are not needed, just one or the other. You are strongly encouraged to take Engineering 482 or Philosophy 482 as soon as you are eligible, and you're eligible at 60 hours unless you do a study abroad. And here's why, because that class is going away. So if it's required for your degree plan, get it out of the way before they phase it out, and you won't have any problems.
They're getting rid of study abroad.
Not study abroad, Engineering 482. Sorry. So it's expensive. That's why.
Engineering 482 is expensive
To teach. So and cross-list. We'll just go with. There's a lot of coordination. All right, so Engineering 482, if you take it as study abroad, you do not have to meet the junior hour requirement, just the GPA requirement, okay? So you guys are encouraged to do either one, all right? And the Engineering 482 study abroads usually go in a wintermester or Maymester to accommodate people that don't want to interrupt their schooling for a semester or want to build in a co-op or an internship during the summer. So it shouldn't interfere with that. Fast track. If you are interested in participating in the fast track program, typically you apply when you're entering your senior level coursework, which is your second semester junior year, and you must have a 3.25 GPA. There is an application process. We review the application, approve it or deny it, and then you pick which fast track courses you want to take, and then that semester you get a professor to sign off. So currently, and this could change, but on the schedule for spring 2020, 651 is being taught, and it will count for 451, and the MEMA 613 it should be taught and count for 406. Okay? So you are registered for fast track courses. You'll register for the undergraduate course during your pre-registration. Once we have your application, all the sign-offs, during open registration, we'll switch you to the grad section. Okay, that's how fast track works. All right, any questions about that? Okay, if you're taking a course outside of A&M and currently, and it's a prereq for a course in the spring, we will need proof of enrollment or proof of grade. Okay, if it's something that you've already completed, you can submit a screenshot. All right. If you're taking something outside of A&M or you want to take something outside of A&M, please use the transfer course equivalency to make sure that you are taking the proper course. Do y'all all know how to use the transfer course equivalency? Are y'all all past that level? I know I got some sophomore honor students, so. Okay, if not, ask an advisor or there's instructions in Howdy. Engineering X. If you are catalog 2017 going forward, you have to complete an Engineering X requirement before you graduate, okay? These are hot, yes.
Engineering X is people who started 2017 or 2018.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So, these are some of the things that will count for Engineering X, all right? So if you have a co-op or internship, part of the honors program, study abroad, you do a capstone that's not required on the degree plan, leadership position in student organizations, a department design competition, undergraduate research. Okay, so we're coming up with a system so that you can register for Engineering X, because in the degree evaluation, it's designated as an Arrow 299, okay? So next semester, we will have a system in place. You will register for 299, and then there is some paperwork, i.e. it won't actually be paperwork. It'll be on a link and a form that you will fill out online, okay? So we will send you further instructions once all of that is built. But I need you guys to be aware of that, because we're starting to have students graduate that need the Engineering X requirement, okay? So if you're a catalog 2017 graduating spring, you need to make sure that you're meeting an Engineering X requirement, okay? All right, so we need to talk about department policies. In this department, we have a three-peat rule. If you repeat a class 3 times, and on that third attempt, you do not make a C or better, that's grounds for dismissal, okay? Q's, W's, F's, those count as an attempt, okay? So please be aware of that. Also, we have a new department policy. If after grades come out, all right, you've got 3 days to correct your schedule. If you made a D or an F or Q dropped or something and you're registered for a class you shouldn't be registered for, you got 3 days. All right, when we review schedules, and if you're found registered for proper coursework, you will be blocked the next semester from pre-registration. All right, this has become a problem, and it's affecting our students' abilities to get seats. And then we have to do a force list when it's unnecessary. Okay, so take care of your business. It'll be less stressful on you, less stressful on us. All right. Okay. Force list. We're trying to get away from force lists, but should there be a force list and you didn't get into a class that you need in order to progress towards your degree, they'll be available in January. I don't know what dates yet. We will force graduating seniors first, okay? So students that need to be forced into a class that are graduating spring 2020, they're priority. So we will force them first, and we must have an intent to graduate from you on file. Those were due in July, okay? So if you're graduating in 2020 and we don't have an intent to graduate from you, we need that ASAP, all right? We only guarantee you a seat. We can't guarantee you a section, all right? So if there's multiple sections and there is one section you want, if we don't have any room, I cannot put you in that section. I only can guarantee you a seat, all right? We cannot accommodate work or organization schedules, all right? So, because if we could, that would be great, but we don't have that kind of capacity. So, work and organization schedule, I'm gonna say that'll be hard. I don't wanna say it's not a valid reason, but it's not a reason that we can accommodate, okay? All right, miscellaneous information. You have, the system will only allow you to register for 17 hours, okay? During pre-registration. After pre-registration, if you want to take a bit of a load in the next semester, you can register for 19 hours, all right? After 19 hours, you will need an excessive hour petition in which the dean can deny that request or approve that request, okay? So, does everybody know how to run a degree evaluation? We're going to do that really fast. Hey, where's my push notification? Well, my phone's kind of broken. I can't swipe down, so we'll try again. Ah, there it is. Duo, where are you? And now it's telling me. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay. I'm going to use a generic student. Y'all wouldn't, well, y'all could do a what if. I'm going to do a catalog 2017 student. I'm going to add a math minor for giggles.
And you said this is a degree.
There's a difference between degree evaluation and degree planner. Okay, so the degree planner pulls off of your degree evaluation. But the degree evaluation will tell you very useful information, like your program GPA, your GPA and arrow, your overall, your catalog. This is your catalog. But it also tells you this is a student that obviously hasn't taken anything, but all of the classes that you need to graduate and whether or not you're meeting those requirements. Okay, so this is your major coursework, the supporting coursework for your major, your communication classes. It will tell you what electives are counting where, what's a tech elective, what's a design elective. Your citizenship, work not applied to your degree plan. This is your high impact experience. That's your engineering X. If you have a math minor, the requirements for the math minor, are you meeting them? International culture diversity, foreign language, residency, okay? So if something is not met, you're not meeting that area to graduate. If you're meeting all of the requirements, it'll say met up here for that area, okay? So this is going to become a little bit more important when you're trying to check and see if you're meeting your requirements to graduate and what you have left to take. Okay. All right. So if you have 3 finals in one day this semester, you need to let us know 10 business days before the first final starts. We will send an email out, and there's a form that you have to fill out, okay? But it has to be 10 business days before the first final starts, just FYI. So as far as registration goes, some students are deciding to split up that second semester of junior year, where they'll take 2 of those classes and then delay graduation another semester to take the other 2 classes. For some students, that's been beneficial, a good strategy, if you have that luxury of pushing back graduation a semester. The other thing that you would do in that split is, since you're taking 2 of those classes, is start moving up your 400 level classes that you're meeting the prereqs for. And that's how you would fill your schedule. Or with minor classes, if you have a minor. All right, intent to graduate deadlines. This semester, I have not sent out an intent to graduate form deadline because it's for the summer. We typically don't have anybody graduating in the summer. But if you do, then you need to submit an intent to graduate form. So if you are going to graduate in fall of 2020, your intent to graduate deadline would be in the spring, and we'll send an email out. But that's a required form that we have for our department, so be aware of that. Q drops for fall 2019. Okay, Q drop deadline, we're asking that you turn in all of your Q drops by noon on November 15th, okay? So that gives us time to process the Q drop because the system literally cuts off at 5. At 5, we cannot process Q drops. Okay, so we need to get them in and process them. So deadline noon, please. Some of you have already turned in Q drops, and we'll begin processing Q drops after all degree planners are reviewed. Okay, so they will be processed by the deadline. We just haven't started that process just yet. Okay. To fill out a Q drop, you don't have to meet with us, but it's helpful if you do, so you know how this affects things. There is a front and back page to the Q drop form, and there is a Q drop log that you must sign when you drop off your Q drop. Okay? Okay, so contacting advisors during pre-registration. Our walk-in hours are typically Mondays and Fridays during the pre-registration period, with the waiting period to see an advisor can be longer than usual, so please be patient. Appointments are made through Navigate, and then there are the walk-in hours. All right, and then just a friendly reminder, when you are emailing an advisor, please include your name, first name and last name, and your UIN. Please don't put the UIN in the subject line, but it makes it a lot faster when we know what your UIN is, all right? Because that's how we look you up. If you're emailing about a course, please include the CRN, course number, and section, all right? That's also very helpful for us when we're working during pre-registration. All right, so when you come to, an appointment, so here. Have a list of courses that you want to take in spring 2020. Be aware of what you've taken and what you have to take. That's where degree evaluation comes in as well. During pre-registration, we really just want to focus on spring 2020, okay? Planning the rest of your graduation period, not an efficient use for pre-registration, unless you come extremely prepared, okay? When you're scheduling an appointment, please state your reason for meeting with an advisor in the comments, okay? So if you want to discuss a certain situation, please put that in there. That helps us prepare for the meetings, and it makes it just faster and more efficient. So if we know what we need to address and need to do a little bit of research, we can have that ready for you when you meet, okay? All right. So also, when emailing an advisor, please do not email us individually. Please email us at advising@arrow.tamu.edu. I'm going to quit answering emails that come from students that go directly to me, okay? Because they need to go there. We don't have assigned students anymore, so we are helping as we can. So please do that. Yes.
Never mind.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? All right. I have a
Please keep that up.
Yes. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Do we know what sections of board feel for which project?
No. Anything that is not in the schedule that looks a little wonky, we're working on it, okay? So our schedule is never, ever set or correct by the time that it's released, okay? This is not uncommon for departments, apparently. But we're working on it. Any changes that affect you guys, I will let you know as soon as I know. Sometimes things aren't communicated and they change, and I have no clue about that. So we will do our best to inform you. When you register, hopefully everything will be set, but just know that it has not been untypical that a class gets canceled or a time gets moved because we find a bigger classroom. Classroom size tends to be an issue for us. So we always need to find a bigger classroom or split things in 2 sections, okay? So, but we do what we can because we're limited in our classroom space. So departments are assigned certain classes and it's not always able to accommodate our needs. So we have to go and change that. That's why the registration worksheet is also going to become important in the future. So if I need to find something to accommodate the number of students that we need, that'll help. So, okay, any other questions? Please read your emails, especially since I'll be sending the Qualtrics out for the prereq overrides, and then just later on also for other registration sessions. That doesn't apply to you. Thank you guys for coming.